Morning. Thank you so much for having this hearing. I've now spent a decade working to end the statute of limitations on child sex abuse across the country, and I have been working with Assemblywoman Markey, who is one of my heroes. This is the 5th time around, and I'd like to commend her for her persistence, because this is an obvious approach that needs to be adopted in every state. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about how the windows have worked in other states where there's been this opening, and even if your statute of limitations had expired, you can go to court, and then talk a little bit about the impact that we're likely to see in New York. So across the United States, we have had bills adopted in California during the year 2003, in Delaware from 2007 to 2009. In Hawaii, it's currently open. It was just opened in April. It will be for 2 years. It will be open. Guam also, even our territories are involved. Guam adopted a window that was a 2-year window, also still open. And you may ask, how did Guam get involved? The president of the Senate in Guam was sexually abused by a priest in Los Angeles and spearheaded the legislation all the way through the state legislature. So what's our experience? Our experience so far is, first, in California, over 1,000 people came forward during the year 2003, and we identified 300 perpetrators that had never been identified before. This was the only way that we were ever going to learn their identities, because the criminal statute of limitations had expired, and once the criminal statute of limitations expired, according to the Supreme Court, it's over. So the only way we can get to identify predators for someone whose criminal statute of limitations has expired is a civil law window that opens the opportunity for a period of time to get to court. In Delaware, much smaller state than California, we had about 180 survivors come forward. We saw about 20 or so that we had never heard of before. But in Delaware, what was interesting is that we had many come forward against public entities and also against parents. So the lawsuits were not limited at all to churches against the cases against the Catholic Church, but also covered a wide swath. In Hawaii, we've already seen the effect. It's only been in place since April, and so far a bishop has been named by a number of survivors. But in addition, most recently, a man by the name of J. Ram owned a farm in Hawaii. He would adopt boys in California. He would take them to Hawaii to work on his farm, not send them to school, and sexually abuse them for the course of their childhood. There's now 2 men who have come forward and have now sued their former adoptive father. They all bear his name. And that case is the one that really makes me think this is the way we have to go. It's the only justice these men are going to be able to find, and they are dedicated that no other child will ever be adopted by J. Ram. In addition, we have, right now, we have 5 other states that are considering windows across the United States, and we have a number of states that are considering elimination of statute of limitations going forward. This year's bill is a bill that I wholeheartedly support. As Marge knows, I had some reservations in the past because it was just a small extension going forward. This is complete elimination of the statute of limitations on the criminal and civil side, and a window. It's the only way to get justice for these victims and the only way to identify our perpetrators. So in the end, why do I think that New York is an appropriate place for the next step? One, it's clearly constitutional. It's not constitutional in about 22 states. It's clearly constitutional in New York. And 2, we just got 12,000 pages of documents from the Los Angeles Archdiocese learning about the ways in which children were abused and the cover-up occurred. We only got those documents as a result of the window. In the state of New York, we know that the New York Archdiocese is sitting on the largest undented cache of secret archives in the country. We know about 62 people who were abusers within the New York City Archdiocese. According to statistics across the country, it should run about 770. So New York deserves the truth, and this is a bill that's for sunshine and truth and justice, and that's why I back it. Thank you.